So how have you found the opening weeks of your posh career on a personal level? We'll come to the results in a bit. On a personal level, you seem to have settled in really well.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying my time here. Adapted quite easy. Lads, staff, everyone's brilliant. Everyone around the place, just we're here to win games of football though, and that's the bottom line. So we've got to get that sorted. I think there's been a lot of positives in our performances, but we've just got to get points on the board, and hopefully that can start Saturday.
Yeah, because people tend to say if you arrive at the point you did where the season's up and running, it's almost doubly hard, but seemingly for you, no real issues. You've really hit the ground running.
Yeah, I'd like to think so, but I'm my own biggest downfall and my own critic, so I know there's areas I can be better in, especially from certain games. I think on Saturday at Sheffield United it was a tough game. Obviously there was 2 leagues apart last year, and I think at times you could probably see that without being too harsh. So you go away, you analyse things, and you always want to be better. And I think on Tuesday night at Reading, I think there was a lot of positives in our performance. Just things ain't quite going for us, but the tide will turn, and we've got to make sure we do that.
Yeah, it's a really different challenge, isn't it, from League One when you find yourself in the centre there, and you probably look around and there's just these amazing technicians in the opposition all around you, and if you deal with someone then they get the ball to someone else, and yeah, it's not like being in League One where probably ordinarily you pick out the 1 or 2 top players, deal with them, and you think you're going to be okay. Yeah,
that's it. There's quality in every team, but we've got that in this building as well. We've definitely got some real quality in there. It's just a matter of believing really, and knowing what we're capable of. And I think that'll come the more games we play as a group, and we see these other teams, these big clubs, and there'll be a realisation that we can actually do something. And hopefully, when it starts to turn, points will come on the board and confidence will grow. And hopefully that's what's going to happen. But yeah, you're definitely right there. There's a lot of quality in the Championship. You're playing against players that have played in the Premier League for a number of years, and it's a tough league. Probably one of the people say one of the toughest leagues in the world. So it's definitely different to League One. It's tough, but it's a challenge that we're relishing. Yeah, and you mentioned belief there. Belief and confidence make such a difference, and they're a bit unknowable, aren't they, in football? How they come and go. It can switch in a second, and you never know. By 5 o'clock on Saturday, if you've got a good result, that confidence can come flowing back. Yeah, that's it, and that's why I'm a big believer of never get too high and never get too low. I think you've always got to analyse games and performances, but never let things really get to you. Another thing is not reading people when they're critical of you, and don't read too much when people are praising you. You've just got to remain focused on a job in hand and believe in yourself, and that goes for us as a group. And as soon as we get that, I'm sure confidence will grow, and like I said, results will hopefully start to change from then on. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you mentioned there about, in some respects, being your own harshest critic. You don't need to read it, do you? You know what you think of your own performance. You're the expert in that regard. You've got Darren as well, who of course will have his view. But actually beyond that, nothing really matters. But it's easier said than done, isn't it, to put all the noise to one side? Yeah, that's it. And I think it's probably easier for me as I'm a little bit older than some of the lads in the dressing room, maybe being 28. I've played a few games, so that probably comes with a bit of experience as well. So you know when you've played well, you know when you've not played so well. And you know when there's things to work on and what it's going to be, especially with the staff here that analyse your performance as well. So yeah, that's a big part of football now, I guess, as well. We do a lot of video analysis and stuff like that, and that's the way the game is. Yeah, and presumably you've been well placed right throughout your career to see the explosion with social media, where probably at the start not so much, but now of course it's a really big thing. Yeah, it is, and obviously everything gets highlighted, and there's so many things, and so many people want to comment on things and stuff like that. That's why it's sometimes best to stay clear depending on your character, and if you are going to read things that people say about you, you've got to expect the good and the bad. So you've got to remain strong mentally, and just focus on yourself really. Yeah, there aren't many of us that can do that. I suppose there are some lucky players who can just
drink it all in, and it's like water off a duck's back. But for most of us, as you said before, it's best just to put it to one side.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but if like I said, you've got to be strong. You've got to be, especially if you're going to be willing to read the good things about you. You're going to have to read the bad things about you. It's just the way it is. So I'm definitely a believer of being a strong character in that sense. And like you say, you know if you've had a good game or not yourself personally. So you need to listen to other people. At the end of the day, the opinion of your family and the manager is the most important, because at the end of the day, he's the one that picks the team.
Yeah, maybe a strange thing to say in that you can't really enjoy it unless you're winning games, but presumably really important around the club, around the training ground, to keep the smiles on faces, to keep enjoying the training, to keep enjoying it as much as you can, despite the past couple of results.
Yeah, you've got to, and that's why I'll go back to the never too high, never too low. You've got to have come into training each day and have the same mentality. We're going to be working, and each day is a different challenge. We're focusing on the next game. So, as I say, we've analysed Tuesday this morning, looked at the positive things, and we'll move on to Saturday. And the games come thick and fast, so you've got to really refocus quick and be ready for the next task in hand.